Hi everybody, welcome to the Zorro edition of 2020 Las Piedras quarantine, the quarantine report. I am down in the beautiful Hidden Valley of Southern California, and I got to come down here, as some of you guys know, with my main string, which includes Zorro, he's coming 11 now, PRE, so Andalusian, who I just got in August of last year. And I just wanted to note a couple of my favorite things from our 9 weeks together. Well, the absolute highlight for me was when we decided to do session number 1 of the old school classic. Old school is not the right way to say it. The classic Pirelli exercise of 20 minutes of completely undemanding time without the phone and without any other interruptions. So I just took him down to the round pen after breakfast one morning and turned him loose. And although he and I have known each other a really long time and we really get along, we haven't done that kind of stuff much. You know, he's never lived at my house. Like, I really thought it would be a little bit of a process to get him to want to stay with me. You know, the idea is to do it, let's say, for 4 sessions in a row and kind of see where you're at. So I turned him loose, and it was a beautiful morning. The birds were singing, probably like 70 something degrees. And I sat down in a chair and have this turned over feed tub as an ottoman, you know, so I put my feet up. And Zorro looks over at me. And he's like, he laid down at my feet and just sprawled out flat. And I didn't want to take a picture of it, you know, for the first while. I did eventually get a photo, like at the very end, after 20 minutes had passed and my little timer went off. Then I snapped a photo, so you guys will see that on my blog. You can go to emmadaileyklein.com or Evolution of a Girl on Facebook, Instagram. And you'll see he's missing a head in the picture because he had just laid down completely flat, which of course is such a compliment that he would do that. And gosh, let's see. Well, we've had a blend of riding in the Wade saddle with, you know, regular snaffle bit rig, which I am more than ever convinced of the value of that. And some of my highlight, and then we've also ridden in the dressage saddle with the traditional dressage snaffle bit setup. And one of my favorite things, because this horse tends to be a little bit lazy too, my favorite, I love these kinds of horses, could possibly be behind the leg a little bit. And there was this one day where he realized that the goal was to just poof out the rectangle and bring all of his energy molecules together, basically bring all of his energy molecules to bear. But it was of his own volition, and it was like, you know, I picked up the reins to define the front of the rectangle, and of course I had my internal energy was on, and it was like I could feel him gathering his, not really his aura, of course, but his energy ball. And he was like, wait, I know what to do. And he just gathered it all up, and I could feel, of course, he's very fancy and he knows a lot of the tricks, but to have him just bring it all to bear himself was amazing. And so that was really fun. I've played with my favorite flying changes pattern that some of you guys I've shared with, and it was cool the other night because it's just a very kind of a passive exercise, because my idea is that the flying changes will become just like breathing, you know, not something that you gotta kind of like wind up to and do. I'm very much looking forward to continuing my education, maybe with Sarah Gammy, if you'll have me, and of course Ann Gribbins I know these girls have a much deeper understanding of how to take it to where you can put this in a program where now ones are possible, which I don't think I have right now. But the idea of just being able to, you know, take your united arcs, let's say from a walking serpentine all the way up to a canter serpentine with flying changes that are just simple and easy, that has definitely been achievable. And so for him to not really have a wind up for that was very cool, because at first, once he realized I was going to put a flying change in, he got a little bit concerned, probably just the way that I was presenting it. But we are working in a big, huge, glorious outdoor arena. Of course, it's just Nathan and I riding in there, so we have unlimited space to just wait for the canter to shape up in a very passive way, and that has just been fun. And also for him, because I'm riding him just a little bit differently than his previous training, sometimes you don't know how it's gonna turn out. And I have had a chance to record some longer videos, like narrating my rides, so that'll be really fun, you know, to look back, because I did some early on, and I still can only sit some of the passage, but definitely fitter, and it's just been really cool. His acceptance of my affections now is neat, and as some of you guys know, this horse was a stallion. If you go back, you can look at a vlog from Dayton. I can't remember which number it is right now, but it was in 2017, I think, and he had just been gelded. And there's just no way you would turn your back on on this horse, because he was a very stallion, and you couldn't kiss him, you couldn't turn your back on him. He was just a bit fussy. Not all Andalusians are like that, of course. Some are just puppy dogs. But him changing into the gentle gelding that we, Wendy and I, always dreamed he could be, has been just super fun. And having him accept my affections in a way that he wasn't thinking that I was doing it so that I could get something out of him was sort of a twist that just happened like a week ago, where he's like, oh yeah, you love me, this is great, and I don't necessarily have to do anything for it. So that has just definitely been a highlight for me with him. I know these are going long, but I've got to give the update on everybody. So that's my quarantine update from 2020, Las Piedras in California with Zorro. We hope all you guys are doing so good, and let's see what the rest of 2020 brings. We'll talk to you soon.